Hey guys, and welcome to my quest guide for the 2023 Members Quest New Foundation. Now, I usually do my quest guides in real time, without pausing, without skipping, without fast forwarding, but unfortunately I lost some of the recording footage during the building sections of this guide, so you will need to pause the video during each of the sections of building, but I will let you know when to pause the video while we're going. So let's get on to the requirements. There are no quests required and no skills required. Items, you will need 88 stone wall segments. You can buy these, or you can buy 352 limestone bricks to make the wall segment yourself. You'll need 8 wooden frames or 96 regular planks to make the wooden frames, and you will need 20 regular planks as well. I would suggest bringing your archaeology journal because that is what I'll be using for teleporting, and then some combat gear. Enemies to defeat, you will need to defeat 10 armoured zombies at level 21 each. So to start the quest, we will be heading to Farrock Castle, and there will be a little blue portal type thing just outside the room where King Rold is. So go ahead and click on the blue portal and choose option 1, yes. You'll head into a chat with King Rold. Go through the chat. Go through the door and speak to King Rold. Hold spacebar and choose accept quest.
A threat looms over the 3 Saradomin.
Skip the cutscene. Keep going through the chat. Choose option 2, sign me up. So once you've got control of yourself again, we're going to be heading to Fort 4 and 3. So go ahead and use your archaeology journal and teleport. Then once you get there, go in and use the dig site map and teleport to the infernal source dig site. So from here, we're just going to run slightly northeast. You can actually see the location lit up on the map. Once you get there, go ahead and click on the glowing blue portal. Choose option 1 to continue new foundations. Once it loads, head on in, and you need to kill all the armoured zombies. They're very easy to kill, and there should be 10 of them in total. You should be able to see them all on the mini-map. So once they're all dead, go ahead into the building just to the north and speak to Bill. Hold spacebar and go through his chat. So the next section depends on whether you brought wooden frames and stone wall segments, or if you brought the limestone bricks and planks. So if you brought the finished products, you can go ahead and click on the blueprint table and start building the workshop. If you do that, skip to 10-minute mark on the video. If you, like me, brought planks and the limestone bricks, go ahead and start using the table to create the refined planks out of your normal planks. Now you will need to run to the bank a couple of times if you're doing it this way, because the bank chest is not available just yet. So we're going to make some refined planks on this side of the table where the saw is, and then the other side of the same table on the eastern side where there's like a piece of paper, you can turn these refined planks into wooden frames. Now, the order you do these in doesn't really matter. I brought some planks and some of the limestone bricks. If you have got limestone bricks with you, you can use the stone cutter over here to make them into stone wall segments. Or just continue with the wooden frames. Once you've used all the pieces you've already brought, go ahead and teleport to the bank to get some more resources, and then just keep on doing this until you have the 8 wooden frames and 6 stone wall segments. So once you've got all the things made up that you need, we're going to go ahead and click on the table to check the plans for the Fort 4 and 3 blueprints. Click on the workshop tier 1 and choose start blueprint. And you'll see some scaffolding show up in the area we've just been working. Go through the chat and you're going to go and click on the scaffolding to build. Now you can click on any of them. The most effective and efficient way is to click on the glowing yellow one. That will move around every so often. Now, the building does take quite a while. As I said earlier in the video, I did lose some footage not long after this. So the building sections I'm going to skip over. I will show you where each section is and how to start it. But we're going to be going round for the rest of the quest, building the whole wall, the gates and everything for the fort. So the workshop is the first part. You can see the yellow section moved. So just go ahead, move over to the next section and carry on building. You can see the progress bar in blue just above your head. It should take a little bit of time. So just sit back and relax while you're waiting for it to finish building. So once the workshop construction is complete, it's kind of obvious the building will go up. Go ahead and go through the chat with Bill. So the next section, we need to do some recruitment. So first we're going to head to the Varrock Lodestone. And then we're going to go into the Blue Moon Inn, which is just north of the Lodestone. And then just outside the pub, you will see Asta. Go ahead and speak to her. Go through the chat. Next, we need to head to Barbarian Village. So you can either run northwest, like I am, or teleport to Edgeville and run south. It takes about the same amount of time. So once you get here, go ahead into the center section and speak to Overseer Civ. Hold spacebar and go through the chat. Next, we need to head to Draenor Village Lodestone. Go southwest into the marketplace and we need to speak to Father Flint. He should just be in the center of the marketplace. Go through the chat with him. Once he's done talking, use your archaeology journal and teleport. Click on the archaeology map and go back to the infernal source. And then head northeast back up to Fort 4 and 3. Head back to the workshop, which is on the western side, and speak to Bill. So the next section is going to be building the fortifications. So we're going to be building the walls all the way around the outside, as well as the gates. So for the next section, you will need 20 normal planks. We don't need any of the wooden frames, and you'll need 82 stone wall segments in total, which is 328 limestone bricks. So you can either pause the video now and make all the stone wall segments straight away, or you can make them in each section. I will tell you at the start of each section how many you need. It is easy enough just to make them as we go. So we're going to start with the front gate. Now this requires 6 stone wall segments, which is 24 limestone bricks, and 10 planks. So go ahead and click on the Fort 4 and 3 blueprints. The first one should be the front gate, so go ahead and click on that and start blueprints. and then head to the entrance the way we came in, and you will see 2 of those construction hotspots. So this is going to be exactly the same as we did before. There are 2 construction hotspots, 1 on each side, so it is simple of just running back and 2. So go ahead and pause the video here, and we'll be back when the front gate's built. So once the gate is built, you will see it pop up. The next thing we're going to do is head back to the blueprint table. And we're going to click on the rear gate. You will need 6 stone wall segments and 10 planks. The rear gate is just to the north of the table. And once again, there is 2 construction hotspots, 1 on each side of where the gate will be. So we're going to go ahead and build this next section. It takes a couple of minutes, so go ahead and pause the video once again. So once the rear gate is done, we're just going to keep going the way we've started, and it's just the same thing all the way around. So the next section is the west wall, which needs 10 stone wall segments. We'll choose the west wall, and that is directly west of the workshop. Now this one has 2 construction hotspots, which is a little bit more difficult to get to. It takes a little bit longer when they switch. You've got one here just to the north, and the other one is south of the workshop, so you kind of have to run around when it switches place. So once more, we're going to wait a couple more minutes for building this one, and you just pause the video. We'll be back in a minute. So once this wall is completed, we're going to go and head back to the blueprint table, and we're going to work on the northwest wall, which requires 5 stone wall segments. So go ahead, click on the table, choose the northwest wall, and then we're going to head northwest. This is between the gate and the western wall we've just built. Once again, there are 2 construction hotspots, 1 just next to this tower and 1 close to the western wall we've just built. So just go ahead and pause the video. Once the northwest wall is complete, we're going to head back, and now we're going to build the north wall section 1, which requires 10 stone wall segments. So head north. This is directly east of the gate we built. There are 3 construction spots all in a line, so they're pretty easy to run back and 2 between. So now you can pause the video once again. Once that is complete, we're going to head and continue the north wall section 2 at the table, which requires another 10 stone wall segments. Click start blueprint. And this next one is just directly east of the wall we've just built. Once again, 3 construction hotspots, easy to get to. So now you can go ahead and pause the video while you build this next section. Once the north wall section 2 is complete, we're going to head back to the blueprint table once again and build the northeast wall, which requires 5 stone wall segments. Click the plans, choose northeast wall, and then head up to the northeastern section of the fort. So up here there are 2 construction hotspots just each side of this tree. You can start working on this one and go ahead and pause the video once again while you build this section. So once the northeastern wall is done, we're just going to carry on as we have been doing. Head back to the table, click on the blueprints, and choose the east wall. This one requires 10 stone wall segments. and is directly south of the piece we've just built. Now this is another slightly awkward one, like what we built around the workshop before. There are two construction hotspots, one to the north of the building, one to the south of the building. So when the optimal spot switches, you will have to run around to get to the next one. So start building, go ahead, pause the video once again, and I will be back with you when this one's done. So once the eastern wall is complete, we're going to do just the same again. Head back to the table with the blueprints. We're going to build the southeast wall, which needs 5 stone wall segments. Start the blueprint. Head on over to the southeastern section. Over here, as you can see, there are 3 construction hotspots this time. It's slightly larger than the other corners. So we're going to work our way through. Go ahead and pause the video till we are done. Once the southeastern section's done, rinse and repeat. Head back to the table. This time we're going to be building the south wall section 1, which needs 5 stone wall segments. Start blueprint, and this one will be just underneath the building to the south. The east side of the gate we built. 2 construction hotspots on this, nice and simple to run between them. So we'll build this one and just pause the video, and I will be back with you in a few minutes. Once the south wall section 1 is done, back to the table. I'm going to start south wall section 2, which needs 5 stone wall segments as well. We're almost done. This one is directly south of where you stood. There are 2 construction spots right next to each other. This is probably the easiest one to do. So you can go ahead and pause the video. I'll be back with you when this one is built. Once the south wall section 2 is done, head back to the table. You need the final 5 stone wall segments, and we're going to build the southwestern wall. So directly southwest of where you stood. There are 3 construction hotspots here. So go ahead and build this. You can pause the video once again. So once the final section of wall is complete, go back to the blueprint table and speak to Bill. We'll get a little cutscene, just go through the chat. You'll be talking to all your recruits. Choose your title. You can choose any you want, and you can change it at any time. So if you choose the wrong one, it doesn't matter. So that is quest complete. So for completing this, you will get 1 quest point, access to the Fort Forin 3 and its facilities, the 3 titles that will be available, and 2 treasure hunter keys. So that's quest complete, and well done. Now, just a quick note after the quest is complete. Before you move on to the next quest in this series, you will need to have built 4 new buildings in here which become available after the quest, and that is the Town Hall, the Command Centre, the Workshop, and the Chapel. Now, you only need to build tier 1 of each of these, and the requirements for building this. So to build tier 1 of each of these, you will need Town Hall tier 1, 10 oak frames and 6 stone wall fragments. For the Command Centre tier 1, 12 willow frames and 6 stone wall segments. For the Workshop tier 1, you will need 8 wooden frames and 6 stone wall segments. And for the Chapel tier 1, you will need 10 oak frames and 6 stone wall segments. So if you build all of these now, once this quest is complete, when you're ready to move on in the quest series for the next one, you are ready to go.